big threat for them for Gab if they don't pay attention. And Moon actually with an expansion here, but not enough food. He's at 47 out of 40 food, so he can't actually produce wisps at this point. But he is spamming moon wells out around here. So that'll probably that'll probably allow him to build those wisps in a second. And Soccer is going to now need to get out because a massive army from Gav is coming in now. He might try and take out this Hunter's Hall, but he definitely won't make it. And he does just need to TP out. And actually, there are a couple more moon wells here he probably should have taken out as well. But obviously, time didn't allow that. And meanwhile, Moon, just with these 3 moon wells, he doesn't really have much of a coherent base anymore. Actually, he's building another. He's trying to rebuild his main as well. That's pretty ambitious from him. I imagine Gabriga really want to get right back on them and attack again. But tier 3 actually for Soccer and Master Shaman as well. And so I guess we're gonna be seeing Bloodlust. I guess sort of they're gonna try and, I don't know, maybe focus down the destroyers and then go for Bloodlust or something. I completely didn't see that coming, I'll be honest. I'm not quite sure what the strategy here is going to be, but it's certainly going to be a pretty interesting one. Obviously, Master Shaman are amazing because Bloodlust is just so powerful, but it's just so easily dispelled, and especially to destroyers as well. Maybe Bloodlust did Raiders base raiding or something. It's hard to say at this point. Obviously, no income really for Ente at this point, and so I'm surprised that they're not just attacking because they know that it's only going to get worse from here on in. And Soccer with Orb, which is a good giveaway. He is tier 3 if he is scouted. Just item creeping. Actually, it looks like he's creeping the entire thing. No, he gives up and just item creeps. And meanwhile, actually also creeping the Goblin Merchant, and hopefully going to get a pretty interesting item from there. And Moon now moving in. He scouts this Ancient of Orb, but looks like he isn't actually going to go and kill it. He's just going to try and kill off these remnants of ThomasG's base. But what's this item? Rune Bracers. That's going to be very nice against the undead. And ThomasG with a sort of a decent army, sort of 12 huntresses or so, maybe 11 huntresses. And Ent with a lesser army, but he does now have his mine back up, even though it's not mining at full capacity. He really does need to get a couple more acolytes. Yeah, there they come there. And Moon now killing off these last couple of buildings. It looks like another expansion here from Moon. Really going for the economy game here. And Moon going for rebuilding this expansion as well. And just so many expansions here from Moon. I imagine he's just transferring so much gold to Soccer, which just is allowing him to go for all these bestiaries at the moment. I think this triple bestiary is probably going to be for just spamming Bat Riders, because there's only a couple fiends now. I'm not sure even if he has web, but even if he does, just spamming Bat Riders is going to mean that he can take out these destroyers really quickly, 0 upgrades on them. And so if once he's taken those down, he's going to be able to use Bloodlust like crazy and just sort of completely wipe the floor. Well, we made foxes collectively will be able to wipe the floor with Gab. And Soccer now creeping this. Get a Boots of Speed drop, actually. A decent item, I guess, for... I'm not sure if the Keeper's Grove... No, Keeper's Grove doesn't have Boots of Speed, so could be useful for it. But looks like Gab finally realized there's an expansion here, and just taking it out now. But a TP in, I'm not sure if it's from Soccer. I imagine it's from Soccer, but... Actually, no, Blademaster wasn't with him. It must be Moon. Yeah, it is Moon. And immediately getting an Entangle. And the Priestess of the Moon. But Moon actually being caught out, having to use a Speed Scroll because... Ent was just hiding a bit behind the Fog of War, and Moon might want to use these moon wells and then just completely get out of there. And Moon just trying to run away with his Keeper of the Grove. It looks like he will actually manage to get away to his base at least. And at that point, Soccer can just TP in, and I think Gab realized this and just started going to try and move back and try and take out the expansion, which he should be able to do without any trouble at all. And Moon will just want to use these wisps cleverly to try and drain as much mana as possible, maybe cancel some of that Frost Nova, or that Frost Armor. And meanwhile, Soccer bringing in all his raiders and stuff. You'll notice he hasn't brought in his Master Shaman yet, and he just wants to hide his tech, I think, for as long as possible. Especially sort of what he's done with this tech as well. And lots of Bat Riders now being spammed, as I said. He'll probably go for maybe 6 or 8 or 6 or 9 maybe, and then Mime Fox will go for an attack. That would really be quite clever. And actually, Soccer, I imagine, with a tiny Great Hall, has put up an expansion here, and this is looking really good for them. Obviously, there's the sort of immediate danger of the actual army of Gab, but just through nice constantly distracting their opponents, they've really managed to hold them off. And level 4 Shadowhunter with lots of mana items, same as last game, plus 6 intelligence, plus 150 mana, then a Sobi Mask as well. That's really, really nice. And ThomasG now coming back in. Maybe he's going to try and kill this expansion. No. Yeah, it looks like he should go for the Ancient Protector first, I think. But Soccer is now moving in just with his Blade Master, really. And looks like he's going to try and pick off. Actually, he's going for the Priestess of the Moon. So clearly he just wants to force the TP as soon as possible. And it looks like he did get a nice crit there. So it looks like that is going to happen. It looks like that very clever move there is actually going to mean that this expansion will stay up. So that's very nice for them. And meanwhile, this is another expansion is now up and running for Moon, and now actually producing Wind Riders or Wyvern for Soccer. So he's just gonna have this sort of crazy army, and Tauren Totem as well. This is sort of what you can do with just so much income as an orc. You can just sort of go crazy. Obviously, you don't generally see these types of units. Master upgraded Witch Doctors as well, so you might be seeing some healing wards, maybe some status traps. That would be pretty sensible as well. Obviously, Treants or Force of Nature second for the Shadowhunter, because there's really no melee units that they're playing against, and so it would be pretty pointless to go for that. To go for Thorn's Aura, despite sort of the obvious advantage of auras in 2 versus 2s. And let's check out what the drops are. Tome of Experience and God, so many units. It doesn't matter. But anyways, Shadowhunter, Blade Master, and Keeper of the Grove 4/4/5 respectively. Scourge Bone Chimes. That's gonna be quite nice for all these raiders and stuff. But there's really not that many ranged units, and it looks like this is gonna be the final push here. The We Made Foxes have joined up. They have all their sort of hidden tech units with them, and are really going for attack. Moon's 1/1 upgraded Huntresses. I don't think he's ever, or he did go to tier 2, but I think he never actually managed to stay there for long, and so he didn't manage to pick up a second hero, which I think would have been quite nice. But it's not a big problem. 0/1 upgrades for ranged units and 1/1 upgrade for raiders. And meanwhile, Gab are now actually out of the Undead's base, and so they probably will manage to take out this expansion unless We May Fox decide to TP in. I'm not sure whether or not they both have TPs. Yeah, they do, I think. So they might well just TP in, or they might just try and base race. Base racing would obviously be the easy choice at this point, because it also means that it'll be really hard. It's just sort of an easy way of winning, and the worst thing that can happen is they have to TP out, whereas if they TP in, they don't have any TPs left in case there's some sort of horrible positioning. But TP's now coming in, and I think this will be the final fight now. Just so massively outnumbered. Healing wards in the back, status traps in the back as well, and I imagine the Bat Riders will go off any second now and take out these Destros and all these bloodlusted units as well. Just so nice to see that actually in a pro match. And there's the GG from ThomasG, and I imagine we'll see the same thing. There's the GG from Ente as well. So some really enjoyable 2 versus 2 actually. I'll see you for the 1 versus 1s. I'm not sure which game's going to be up first, but I look forward to it nonetheless.